Welcome to the Discount Property Investor Podcast, where we show you how to buy real estate at a discount so you can create wealth over time and income today. Our mission is to share what we have learned from the experience of others and help you make more money investing like a pro. We want to teach you how to create wealth by investing in real estate, the Discount Property Investor way. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, guys, welcome back, Discount Property Investors. Thanks for joining me, your host, Mike Slane and David Dodge. We are today going to talk about making offers. I encourage you guys to check us out online at the discountpropertyinvestor.com. There you can find all of the properties that we currently have available, as well as the link to freewholesalecourse.com. There you can learn how to start or get started in wholesaling. So let's go ahead and get started then. Today we're going to talk about making offers. Dave, you want to go ahead and jump right in?
Let's do it. Jump right in. So offers is obviously super important if you want to do deals, guys. If you want to get properties under contract and sell those contracts, aka sell those deals, you have to make offers. So last week we talked about marketing. Marketing is the business that we're in. I just want to touch on that again. We are in the marketing business. And real estate is our product, okay? So marketing is obviously number one most important thing. If you're not marketing, you're not gonna have people calling you, okay? So once you get your marketing set up, once you start doing your local networking, and you get people contacting you, and I don't know if it have to be people contacting you, but I always say, if you can get them to contact you, that's a warm lead. There are other ways to do marketing where you can call sellers off of Craigslist or Zillow that have something for rent, or for sale, and talk with them that way. But regardless of how you're doing your marketing, either inbound or outbound, you need to be making offers. So the more offers you make, the more deals you're going to do, period. I don't think it gets much more simple than that. It's a numbers game, folks. Same with the marketing. The more marketing you do, the more motivated sellers you're going to be talking to. And when it comes to offers, it's this exact same thing. The more offers you're making, the more properties you can buy at a discount, because the more that you're going to have a higher, chance of getting that motivated seller that just says yes right when you make that offer. So, we encourage everyone to make as many offers as possible. There's really no reason that you can't make, at least a couple offers every single day. If you have zero marketing budget, you should have access to, a phone or a computer, I would think. And
if you're listening to us, you have access to a phone or
computer. If you're listening, you do, absolutely. Yeah. Get on Zillow, get on Craigslist, go and find properties that are for rent or for sale. Pick up the phone and call them. Say, hey, I saw your property. Say, hey, I'm an investor. I can't pay retail because as an investor that wouldn't make sense for my business. However, I'm interested in buying your property. If it's something that's for sale, go about it that route. If it's something that's for lease, just say, hey, I see that you're a landlord and you have this investment property. I'm also an investor. Are you interested in selling? I see you have this vacant property. I'd be more than happy to make you an offer, and then make an offer on it, guys. It's really not that hard.
And this is something I want to hit on too, is don't be afraid to make the offers, and don't be afraid to be told no. That's something in this business you're going to get rejected a lot.
Well, no just means not today.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of this business. And absolutely. I know when I started, it was I struggled with it, and I still struggle with it, is when you're told no, and especially if you're in a rut, you haven't had anything good in a while. Like, it's a tough business. It will chew you up, spit you out, but be ready for it. I mean, that's all part of it. When you're asking someone to sell a property at a discount, you can expect to be told no.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just...
You can expect to be hung up on. You can expect to be called names.
Yeah. Are you crazy? What are you doing wasting my time? I mean, all sorts of stuff.
Absolutely.
And that even starts, and you already are familiar with this if you've got your marketing in place. Like we encouraged last week, you're going to get people even calling just from the marketing saying, hey, please take me off your list, things like that. There's constant rejection, but you have to just keep on moving forward.
You got to keep on moving forward. And just because somebody doesn't like your offer today, they aren't ready to sell today, doesn't mean that they're not going to be ready to sell tomorrow or next week or next month. And follow-up is super key in this business. Every offer that you make, you need to be following up on that offer, because most of the offers that you make, they're not going to say yes today because the time isn't right, but if they know that you're an interested buyer and that you've already made them an offer when the time is right, they're going to think about that guy that called them, a week or a month or 6 months ago that was interested in the property before they go out and try to maybe hire an agent or, do some marketing of their own to list that property. You have already been the guy that's contacted them and said, hey, I want to buy the property. So, making offers is obviously super important. The more offers you make, the better. But also following up on those offers is key. You have to follow up on those offers. So, if you're not already using some sort of a CRM, a software that's going to help you with your customer relationship management, get one. There's tons of free ones out there.
Well, you can even start with, Excel and
absolutely.
Gmail. Use Gmail's calendar and just
Google Sheets or Gmail's calendar.
Just whatever you want to use. Again, just something that says, hey, I've called this person. I made an offer for this. I'm going to follow up in 3 weeks or whatever. Just follow up 3 days later and then 3 months later, something like that.
Just have some sort of a plan. You don't have to be calling these people every day. But, once you submit an offer, you need to definitely follow up with these people. So let's talk about offers, how to submit offers, where to submit offers, what we're doing and what you can do. Also, if you go to the freewholesalecourse.com or it's freewholesalecourse.com, we have a whole section on offers, and you can learn more there as well. So, Mike, you want to tell us a little bit about how we're making offers and the different ways that you can make offers?
Sure. So we'll talk about I guess the different ways to make offers. First off, is you've got the phone number. Obviously, these people have called you. So the first way is call them and make a verbal offer over the phone. And that's where, again, you will face some rejection right away, a little bit more immediate feedback. But it gives you the opportunity to counter, gives them the opportunity to counter right away and find out really what their true price is.
Get the conversation started.
And that's exactly what the offer is, or the contract that you send is. It's starting the conversation. So the next way then would be, I'd say, emailing it. If you have their email, I always like to try to capture the email on the appointment when I'm going to look at a house so that I can email it. I find it to be the most efficient way. We use digital signatures, so when we're sending out those contracts, which we will go into in the next episode, we'll share some of the contracts and go into that a little bit more in depth.
Stay tuned. Next week, contracts.
Yeah, next week, contracts. There you go. So, and then the third way is just writing it out and mailing it to them. So, a lot of times if it's an older person or somebody just doesn't use computers that much, they prefer to have it written. So, again, we like to bring contracts with us, and we're going to
print out a stack of them. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Keep going.
Print out a stack of them and put them in your trunk, of contracts, which we'll get to next week. But that is your offer, is a contract. So when you go out and you meet these motivated sellers, and you have an offer, pull out a contract and start filling it out. I love to do that because it kind of lets them know, hey, this guy is serious. He's ready to go, and then whenever you are in front of them, make them acknowledge that you're there because they called you, most likely, and that they have something that they're looking to sell. So say, hey, do you acknowledge that, you are trying to sell this house? Great. Can you acknowledge that I'm a cash buyer investor and that I can buy this house? Great. Here's a contract. This is my offer. Start filling it out. If you can get them to sign it right then and there, awesome. Job well done. If you can't, leave it with them. But then go back to the other ways that Mike had just mentioned on. You want to call these people to follow up. You maybe even want to send them an email with another offer in it, or even drop one in the mail. And sending offers in the mail has multiple advantages. One is it's kind of an automated way of following up with somebody. If you're really busy and you're out looking at tons of properties and making tons of offers, you may not have time to sit down and call 20 or 30 or 100 people back weekly or even every other week. And if you can just print that offer and drop it in the mail, 2, 3, 4 days later, they're going to get that. And it's just an automated way of letting them know, hey, I'm interested. Don't forget, I made you an offer. Here's my offer. Call me or email me back if you like to accept or negotiate or counter, so on and so forth. So Lots of ways to make offers.
So what to offer then is the next question.
Absolutely. So, what to offer, how to offer.
Right. So there's two different ways that if you're not an agent or you don't have access to the MLS, there's two different ways in my experience to kind of come up with the offer. Really one. So I would say go to Zillow. Zillow is not super accurate. I'm not saying look at his estimates. Not saying that at all. But Zillow has a huge amount of information out there.
They have a huge amount of data.
And you can pull the information that you need. So you go to Zillow and you pull up the address or type the address of the property you're looking at, and then you're going to look for recently solds and only look at the recently solds around that property. And with Zillow, you can zoom in, zoom out, you can select the area. So again, that's very similar to what you would do in the MLS, where you're going to look at the property address and a certain radius and recently sold. I don't think you can yet fine-tune Zillow on, or no, you can, even on the dates. So you can pull properties from the last 6 months or so.
Yeah.
And Zillow is not 100% accurate, but it is a great
Well, there's just tons of data.
Free way to find.
And in some markets, I'm interrupt you for 1 second. In some markets, the Zestimate is spot on. In other markets, it's way off. So I just want to caution individuals that are using the Zestimate. That's not an appraised amount of the property. All that number is just data pulled from recent sales in the area, in the last couple months, and it's kind of given an estimate based on bed and bath count and square footage amount. So obviously, it doesn't take into consideration the condition of the property. I don't know the exact formula that they're using, but I just know that the Zestimate is it's not always accurate. So caution that number.
I wouldn't put a lot of emphasis on the Zestimate. I mean, I'll say that up front. But again, it's this huge treasure trove of information, which is free, which is available.
Sold comps.
So go find the sold comps and then use basically an envelope formula is what I call it. I'm sure somebody else came up with it first, but here we kind of base it on pretty close to 70% of the after repaired value. So you look at the comps and you kind of figure out what your after repaired value would be minus the repairs. And that's just an easy way to start. 70% is okay in our market. Different areas, definitely not. I mean, when you get into the hotter areas, I mean, we're up to 80, 85%.
Absolutely.
Really. I mean, it's so again, you've got to know your market pretty well, but just get started with an offer around 70% minus repairs.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's super. It's.
Don't be afraid to make offers. I've heard this several times from other investors in my market, and it's kind of stuck with me. But if you're embarrassed about your offer, then it's probably a pretty good offer. Another way to say that is if you're not embarrassed about your offer, you're probably offering too much. So as a discount property investor, you need to be making low offers. And you need to be able to buy these deals right, buy these properties right. So one thing that Mike had just mentioned is, the typical wholesaler's formula. It's a formula that if you're going to be wholesaling, you should definitely know. So the formula is very, very basic, and it goes like this. MAO, which stands for your maximum allowable offer, equals 70% of the ARV, which stands for the after repair value, minus the repair cost, minus your wholesale fee. So I'm going to say that one more time. MAO equals 70% of ARV minus repairs minus wholesale fee. Okay. Now the reason that formula is so basic or so standard, I should say, it's the norm, is let's switch gears for a second here. Put yourself in the shoes of a buyer. Anybody that's a seasoned real estate investor knows that you make your money when you buy and you get paid when you sell. So you have to buy right. And if you can buy something with 20 or 30% equity, then you're already going to, you're going to kind of guarantee yourself a good exit on that deal, no matter if that exit is short-term or long-term. If you can buy with equity, you're going to be doing just fine. It also helps in the refinancing of the game. So back to the formula. MAO, maximum allowable offer, equals 70% of the ARV, which is the after repair value, minus repairs, minus the wholesale fee. 70% is the norm, folks. In hot markets, like we're located in St. Louis, Missouri, and, we have some great school districts, some great zip codes, and some great areas in general. And we may alter our formula. We may go from 70% of the ARV to 80, even 85%. And we also have areas that aren't very, very nice areas, places that I wouldn't want to live.
Yeah.
And we'll modify that formula in the opposite direction. We'll take that formula down to 60%, sometimes 50, sometimes 40.
Don't be bashful. We'll go real low.
Sometimes we'll do a 30% ARV offer just because it's not. We know that we're going to have trouble selling that deal. Okay, so you can definitely modify the percentage of your ARV. There's markets I know, like lots of areas in California, Texas, New York, New Jersey, Florida, so on and so forth, that you may even have to go up to 90% because investors are willing to buy with only 10% equity. So again, put yourself in the shoes of the investor. How much equity are you needing to get to be able to buy that property or that deal to where it's still a deal? And then that's how you can kind of work it backwards to determine what the percentage of the ARV should be.
So I think we've kind of covered it. I want to emphasize one thing.
Please.
Don't be afraid to make an offer, because
Absolutely.
you're going to listen to our next episode where we're going to go over to contracts and we're going to tell you how to cover yourself so that you're not stuck.
CYA clauses.
Exactly.
Yep.
So again, don't be afraid to make offers. Check out the next episode. We are going to help you write a contract or show you how to use a contract properly.
Mm-hmm. But today, start making offers, folks.
So
get out there, make offers.
Today's action item then is just follow up with those people who've called you, follow up with the people you've had an appointment with, and send offers to them. Make offers, call offers in, mail the offer. Just get the offers out there to get that conversation restarted with them if you have let those leads drop off.
Absolutely. Check us out online, guys. freewholesalecourse.com. There's a link to that course and that site on our website, which is the discountpropertyinvestor.com. Subscribe to our mailing list if you're not already on there. If you're looking for deals in the St. Louis market, again, discountpropertyinvestor.com is where you can find our deals. And Mike, let's go ahead and wrap this episode up with a quote.
Yeah. So next week, join us for contracts. The quote is, "The fortune is in the follow-up."
Thanks for listening to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to help us reach a wider audience. We would also appreciate it if you left us a review on iTunes or Stitcher. Thanks in advance for your support. And remember, you make your money when you buy and get paid when you sell. Now let's go build some wealth.